the one of the subject is related to your question. Last week you were asking the stance of the foot relation, and that is actually a very good question. But the answer I told you is probably about right as an answer. However, for example, there's a Okamura sensei who happened to be from the near Tsukuba area, but he's a chairman of you know, there's in Japan, there's a kendo teacher licenses. You don't know?
Well, I've heard like International Budo University, they have like some kind of master's program or something.
Yeah, well, this is a government program.
Oh.
And All Japan Kendo Federation is working with them. So it's official government. In Japanese called the Shakaijin Kendo Shidosha, Jokyu, Chukyu, Shokyu. So 3 levels. And in order to get the Jokyu, I think has to have Renshi and Nanadan or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I think this may be the hardest test in the world, in a sense. Every 3 years, you have to take the refresh seminars.
Wow.
And then test. And you have to pass the test, even in order to keep it.
Oh, wow.
I thought just getting the normal Shidosha license for teaching kids was bad.
But anyway, the chairman of that committee, I don't know whether he is a present chairman or not. The committee members were all Hachidan. And this Okamura sensei was the only Nanadan.
Oh.
But he was the chairman of the high school Kendo Federation. That's why he was the chairman. So the other Hachidan sensei said, you must get the Hachidan. So he was got the advices from other Hachidan senseis. And one of the advices he accepted, and then he thinks it works. His width of the left and right was too narrow. It's about just 1 knuckle. And then other Hachidan senseis told him, should be wider than the one knuckle. So he corrected that. And then also he was told left foot and right foot, the distance was too far. So he brought it back. Then he passed the Hachidan. So, but it's a very strange. Why I said that question is a very good question is when we are standing on both feet, we can tell the weight distribution 3-1, I'm sorry, 3-7 or 5-5. But when we start initiating the kendo attack, then we float one leg, usually front leg. Then no matter what, the entire weight must be in the one touching the floor. So what is the 7-3 weight or 4-6 or 5-5? So in kendo, no one was really asked openly that question, and then sort of naively accepting it's a 3-7 or 4-6 or 5-5. So I don't know the actual answer either, but it's a very good question. And that what we want to do today is exactly related to that. And I hope the reason I sent you the bunch of the figures.
Yes.
And one of the figure is the thigh bone. And
Right.
the thigh bone makes the hip joint. And the thigh bone is something like this. So there's a neck here. So whether we make, let's say this is front and this is back, whether make a angle or thigh bone rotate this way or that way makes the situation different. So the last week, what I was trying to convey to you was when we have a kamae, then back rear foot will make it this way. Let's say this is front and this side is back. So rear bone side goes like this, not like this. Therefore, distance between pelvis and the thigh is wider compared to something like this or something like this. Do you understand?
You said the thigh is wider if it's in the back.
Distance between thigh itself, this part of the, and the, here is the pelvis. I mean the distance means in terms of the front or rear.
Oh,
So if this is, it's more like even to even, but if this one becomes that way, then thigh is behind and pelvis is forward, right?
I didn't know that the bone moved that way. I thought it stayed straight.
Okay, just a minute.
I'm not sure I'm imagining this right.
I think what he means is the relative position of the hip and the kind of the I call it the virtual angle. So like if you're standing here between here and where it connects to the ground, there's a certain angle. But then when you have your hips set a certain way, you could change the angle of that leverage without physically moving your feet or the physical position of your body.
Oh, you mean rotating the hips?
By rotating the hips a little bit.
So let's say this is the pelvis, okay? Front and rear. So the joint is like this.
Okay.
Okay. So the when the it goes like this, then distance between here and here is longer, right?
When that happens, does the leg, if this is the thigh, does the leg?
Yeah, so they
rotate?
rotate the side. Then it becomes like this or like that.
Okay.
So this one has the thigh itself is more like a crank. So has the flexibility of the going this way or that way, or even a little forward. So what we do in kendo, we make rear one. Now it's front, back, rear one going like this. So that's how the left side, usually called the hip or waist, goes forward.
I don't know if I can do that.
Although your right foot is forward.
That's kind of difficult for me. I can rotate my whole pelvis, but I find it difficult to just rotate my leg.
I can feel it rotate when I rotate, like when my leg here, here.
You are able to make this movement. You have to relax the surface. There's a big gluteus medius, big muscle, hip muscle. So you have to relax this one. And just use the internal muscle, which is a much smaller one. Then we can do from this angle to this angle.
That angle I can do. The first angle is a bit weird for me.
We're putting whether you can or not aside, you understand the difference?
I think so.
Okay. So the do it this way. So the compared to the just a kamae portion, original kamae portion, this side, left side, come forward. So when we have a kamae, it will be like this, but when opponent does something, then we just do this. Just do this. That means we are one step closer to ready to go. Therefore, by noticing that movement, opponent can't come in. So if you read the Ogawa Chibutaro Sensei's book, then Ogawa Sensei writes, when your opponent try to attack you, just get your left side hip forward, then opponent can't come in. So it will be like this. And in order to make that one more effective, this side, front side, if you do the other way, say this side goes this way, then front side, which is this one, goes that way. Then this one rotate, pelvis rotate more easily. This one, this side more or less pull. Actually won't be pulled, but as a direction, it's more like a pull direction. And this one is a push direction. So initially going like this, but when we get ready, then it becomes square. That's the time we are ready to go.
So your feet are also...
No, this way, here. Horizontal rotation of pelvis. Do you get the idea, or are you still confused?
So your rear foot is slightly open at the beginning and then comes back?
Say this is a pelvis, and slightly, if you look at the side, it's slightly tilting like this. But if you rotate around here, then it has this rotation and tilt forward, tilt backward. So what I mentioned is the horizontal rotation in the horizontal plane. But if you do this, then the structure of the pelvis naturally rotate forward also. So the right now it's a little hammy, and when you rotate this way, this one will tilt forward also. That's a natural motion. We don't force to do so. Of course, if you like, yes, you can lean back like that, completely relaxed.